Hello students, in our series of beta and gamma function part 3, here we will start with gamma function. What is gamma function? Gamma function is again a special type of definite integral, also known as Eulerian second integral, and gamma function denoted in this way. Gamma of n is integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x raised to the power n minus 1 d of x. Again, gamma function is denoted in this form gamma n, and it is this definite integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x raised to the power n minus 1 d of x, where n must be positive real number. This is very important condition, otherwise it would be an improper integral which is divergent. So always we have to keep in mind that in the power of exponential function it must be the variable only with which we are integrating. If there is any multiple of the variable or the power of the variable, then we have to remove that power or multiple in form of new variable by substitution, and then we can write in form of gamma function. Like suppose we have this integral e raised to the power minus x raised to the power 4 dx, then using the definition, it is gamma of phi. If some more example, if there is integral e raised to the power minus x raised to the power 1 by 2 d of x, then it would be again gamma of 1 by 2 plus 1, that is gamma of 3 by 2. So always you have to keep in mind that when we will write from the integral in form of gamma, then we will increase the power of the variable by 1. Here it was n minus 1, and here we write gamma of n. Same thing is done here. Here the power of x was 4 and we write it as gamma of 5. Here power of x raised to the power 1 by 2. Then when we write it in form of gamma function, we write it gamma of 3 by 2. So we will increase the power by 1. Now there is one recurrence relation. Recurrence relation for gamma function. Here gamma of n is integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x raised to the power n minus 1 d of x. Now if we integrate this definite integral by parts, taking algebraic part as first function, exponential function as second function, and if we integrate, its integration would be first function as it is, integration of second with the limits 0 to infinity minus limits 0 to infinity derivative of first part, and it would be n minus 1 x raised to the power n minus 2. Integration of second part, it would be again e raised to the power minus x over minus 1 d of x. Now we put the limit in our first term, and you have to always keep in mind that limit x tends to infinity x raised to the power n minus 1 over e raised to the power x is always 0, and you can find it by using L'Hospital rule. It can be solved using L'Hospital rule. So when we will put the upper limit, the value would be 0 using this result of the limits by L'Hospital rule. And so when upper limit is put, it would be equal to 0 minus, when lower limit 0 will be put, it would again be 0, because when we will put x is equal to 0 here, it will become 0, e raised to the power 0 will be 1. So overall it will be 0 minus. Now this minus would come outside and minus minus would become positive. It would be n minus 1 integral 0 to infinity x raised to the power n minus 2 e raised to the power minus of x d of x. Now it would be equal to n minus 1. Now again compare it with the standard form of gamma function. Here it would be gamma of n minus 1. Why it will be gamma of n minus 1? We have to increase the power of the variable x by 1 when we write in form of gamma function. So this is the recurrence relation for gamma function, that gamma of n would always be equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. So in this way we find the recurrence relation of gamma function. Now if we take a special case, that when n is positive integer, that is n is greater than 1, because first positive integer is 1, then gamma of n would be equal to, using the recurrence relation we can write gamma n would be equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. Again gamma of n minus 1 would be equal to n minus 2 gamma of n minus 2, and so on. So what we would find, that if we continue like this, then we will find that gamma of n is equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. We will put the value of gamma n minus 1, it would be n minus 2 gamma of n minus 2. Again we will put the value of gamma n minus 2, it would be n minus 3 gamma of n minus 3, and so on. At last we will come to the point 1 into gamma of 1. Again look, that if particular case that n is positive integer, that is n greater than 1 and it is an integer, in that case this can be, using the same recurrence relation, gamma n can be reduced in such a way that after repeatedly applying the recurrence relation, we will start with n minus 1, then n minus 2, n minus 3, and at last we will reach at the point 1 into gamma of 1. Then we will find the value of gamma 1. What would be gamma 1? Gamma 1 is integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x into x raised to the power 1 minus 1 into dx. It would be equal to 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus x d of x, and we can integrate it easily. Its integration would be e raised to the power minus x over minus 1 with the limits 0 to infinity, and you know it will be equal to minus e raised to the power minus infinity minus e raised to the power 0, and we know that e raised to the power infinity is infinity and e raised to the power minus infinity is 1 over e raised to the power infinity, and it would be equal to 0. So it will become minus 0 minus 1. E raised to the power 0 is 1, and we will get it is equal to 1. So we can, in this way we can find the value of gamma n. What would be gamma of n? It would be n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus 3 up to so on 1 into 1, and it is the product of n minus 1 integers starting from 1 to n minus 1, and so it can be written as factorial of n minus 1. So using the recurrence relation, we find that for gamma function, that for every n, every positive real number n, gamma of n can be reduced in this form. It would be n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. One thing. And particular case, if n greater than 1 is a positive integer, basically if it is greater than 1, it would always be positive. So if n is a integer, then we have shown gamma of n would be equal to factorial n minus 1. So always keep in mind, I am just recapitulating the things, that gamma of n is a definite integral, also known as Eulerian second integral, and it is a definite integral with the limits 0 to infinity, e raised to the power minus x, x raised to the power n minus 1, d of x. And you have to always keep in mind that in case of exponential function, here the variable must be in linear form. Its power must be 1, and there must not be any constant multiplied to it. Second thing, that its recurrence relation for gamma function is gamma of n is equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. And there is also a special case, if n is greater than 1 and an integer, in that case gamma of n would be factorial n minus 1. So from the recurrence relation, gamma n is equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. How we can use it? Suppose there is gamma of 7 by 3. So we can write it 7 by 3 minus 1. It will be 4 by 3 gamma of 4 by 3. Again, we can reduce it again in the same way. It is 4 by 3 into 1 by 3, 4 by 3 minus 1, 1 by 3 gamma of 1 by 3. So that would be equal to 4 by 9 gamma of 1 by 3. So in this way we can reduce gamma function in smaller terms. Again, if it is an integer, n is an integer, suppose it is gamma of 5, then we can write it as, we will start from 5 minus 1, 4, gamma of 5 minus 1, 4. It would be 4 into gamma of 4. Again, gamma of 4 will be equal to 3 into gamma of 3. Again, it would be 4 into 3 into gamma 3 would be 2 into gamma of 2. Again, it would be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 into gamma of 1, and we have shown earlier that gamma of 1 is always equal to 1. So it would be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 into 1, that is factorial form. So we have to keep all these results in our mind. Now we will solve few examples where we can use gamma function. Suppose we have to find the value of the integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus of x cube. Suppose we have to solve this integral, then we can use the gamma function. How we can use it? Compare the two. In case of gamma function, we know that power of the exponential function must be the variable with which we are integrating, and there must not be any multiple of it, or its power must be 1. But here the power is 3 of the variable, so we will substitute. Put x cube is equal to t, then its derivative would be 3x squared will be equal to 3x squared d of x would be equal to d of t, and d of x would be equal to 1 by 3 x squared d of t. Now we will put the value of x from here. If x cube is equal to t, then x would be t raised to the power 1 by 3. We will put here, it would be 1 over 3 into t raised to the power 2 by 3 du. Again, find the limits. When x is equal to 0, t would again equal to 0. When x is equal to infinity, t would also be infinity. Now our integral would be 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus t, then d of x is 1 by 3 t raised to the power 2 by 3 du, and it would become 1 by 3 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus t raised to the power minus 2 by 3 d of t. And now if we compare it with our standard form, then now it is same, and it can be written as that 1 by 3 0 to infinity, it would be, so it would be e raised to the power minus t raised to the power 1 by 3 minus 1 into d of t. Now we can write it as 1 by 3 gamma of 1 over 3. And using the recurrence relation, we can also write it as gamma of 4 by 3. Why we can write it as gamma of 4 by 3? Because our recurrence relation was gamma n is equal to n minus 1 gamma of n minus 1. It means here we have 1 by 3 gamma of 1 by 3, so it can be written as gamma of 4 by 3, just increase it by 1. So here it was one example where the power of the variable was given. Now even we can take another example where multiple of the power is given, like this. Just like this. Suppose it is integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power 3x, x raised to the power 4, d of x. Now this integral can be reduced to the gamma function, and how we can reduce? Again the same thing. We have to always keep eye on the power of exponential function. There must not be any multiple or the power of the variable. If there is some multiple or power of the variable, then we have to remove that by substitution. So what would be the substitution here? Here the substitution would be 3 of x is equal to t. Then x would be equal to t by 3. D, if we differentiate, d of x would be dt by 3. Again we will find the limits. When x is equal to 0, t would be equal to 0. When x is equal to infinity, t would be infinity. So we must always we must keep our eye on the power of the exponential function. From there we will find what substitution is required in particular type of integral. So our integral would become 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus t. Then we will put the value of x. X is t by 3. It would be t by 3 raised to the power 4. Then dt by 3. Again look, here when we will substitute 3x is equal to t, x is equal to t by 3, dx is equal to dt by 3, it would become integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus t by 3 raised to the power 4, and dx would be dt by 3. And from here 1 by 3 raised to the power 4, 1 by 3, the whole constant will be 1 by 3 raised to the power 5, integral 0 to infinity e raised to the power minus t raised to the power 4, and it can be equal to, from here if we compare it with our standard form, it would be gamma of 5. And in the reconciliation special case, we have told that when n is an integer greater than 1, then gamma n would be factorial of n minus 1. So using the same result, if it is gamma of 5, it would be factorial 4 divided by 3 raised to the power 5, and we can find the exact value of this integral. So in this way we can solve so many definite integral using the standard form of gamma function by reducing them in gamma function, and we can calculate. So, and in our next lecture we would find the relation between gamma, beta and gamma function and some other properties of gamma function. Till then, practice some more questions from your textbook, and in our next part we will move little further. Thank you.